Hello. Today I am here to talk about protecting our backs. Don't we all want to walk upright and to be strong and healthy and able-bodied to move around throughout our entire lives? Well, did you know that low back pain is one of the leading causes of disability in North America? So let's get to the bottom of what's causing it and how we can overcome it. We lift without squatting down and using our legs. We maybe carry our children on one side or the other. We are heavier as a culture than ever before, and we sit more than ever before. And who loves high heels? Ladies, who doesn't love high heels? All of these things can wreak havoc on our lower backs. But what is the one thing that I think is the most important thing to focus on in order to strengthen our backs? It is strengthening all of the muscle groups of the body so that all muscles are working as a team to support our spines. So if you've ever heard a trainer say, make the mind-muscle connection, have you ever been able to feel that? Well, it does take practice to tap into and really feel a muscle that is working. And when we can focus on and recognize that feeling, then we can focus on feeling it more and more throughout our daily activities and focus on the form in which we do things and the posture that we hold throughout our everyday in order to protect our spines. I can speak firsthand to this issue because my lower back used to really bother me, and there were a few things that were playing into it. I was a new mom. I'd been pregnant and carrying extra weight. I'd been lifting children in and out of the crib, in and out of the car, which are sometimes reach around positions where you can't engage your lower body as much as you would like. After being pregnant, carrying children on one hip or another for long periods of time, maybe not swapping back and forth as I should have been, maybe sleeping on one side more than another, a lot of little things that played into my experience with lower back pain. So how did I overcome it? Well, there were a few things, and a couple of them were really focused around strengthening all of the supportive muscles of the spine. So the small supportive spine muscles, the core, all of the abdominals working in synchronicity, gluteal muscles, and leg muscles. So how can we make that mind-muscle connection? And how do we know that those things are working when we're training? Well, I'm going to give you a few tips as well as some postural tips for use in everyday life that will help. And I'd love to know how this works out for you. Start employing these strategies today, and please come back to me and tell me if you're experiencing less lower back pain. Here we go. Okay, so what are some movements that we can use to get our muscles firing? I like side leg swings, so lifting and lowering while really flexing through that foot, pushing out through your heel and really pushing the grounded leg foot into the floor, really squeezing through that outer hip. Should really feel this in the inner thigh, the outer thigh, the gluteal muscles, and of course squats. So when we squat, we want to keep our chest up. We want to take our bums down and back and have our knees tracking over our toes. So if you want to get warm, some body-weighted squats, taking your bum just below parallel and squeezing up, getting that deep range and putting a big squeeze on those gluteal muscles will definitely get them warm. Another one is a hip hinge. So like touching your toes, you're going to take your hips back and down while keeping your back flat and squeeze your glutes forward. Big squeeze here. So notice I'm not hyperextending my spine. I'm just coming all the way up to standing and really squeezing my glutes. So squeezing forward, squeezing forward. So these types of movements can really help to get that lower body warm. Glute bridges as well. So coming to a flat back position with your knees or your feet underneath your knees and really squeezing up. And again, big squeeze on those glutes, keeping those inner thighs engaged and really feeling that, lowering down almost all the way to the floor and squeezing up. So really making that connection on what it is that's working and really feeling that. So getting warmed up with those movements is huge. Incorporating weighted squats, deadlifts, glute bridges, hip thrusts, all of those movements into your training, and having a trainer work with you who can help you with the form is huge. And remembering to focus on the form before the weight. I would always rather see someone squat a little deeper and always have that full muscular engagement, whole leg strong, glutes squeezing, quads strong, than to see someone heaving a pile of weight, not getting deep, and really throwing everything that they've got into the movement, except sometimes what should be working, and putting a lot of pressure on that low lumbar spine. So remember, incorporate, get warmed up with some of these movements and really focus on what is working. Get some of those weighted exercises, your squats, your deadlifts, your hip thrusts, your glute bridges, all of those things incorporated into your training program. Work with a good trainer if you're not sure on the form. Always focus on the form and that mind-muscle connection before you start to go heavier. From a posture perspective, I want to talk about incorporating the use of your inner thighs to engage your abdominal muscles. And I want to start with just standing. I'm going to grab a yoga block. And a lot of people, when they're standing, they actually don't engage their inner thighs. A lot of us stand like this. Feet are turned out, shortening of the spine. We're slumped, or we're slumped this way. So nothing straight. So rolling our shoulders back, imagining that we've got a block in between our inner thighs, squeezing those inner thighs in and back to engage, and you can automatically feel those low abdominals engage. That's what we want for posture. So we're going from this, turn out of the feet, slump, right, to this, which is so much more present, so much longer, and everything is working in unison to support the spine, and we're making that low lumbar spine even longer. That's what we want. So going through your day, imagining like you've got that good old block squeezed between your inner thighs. And sometimes when I'm driving or sitting in my chair, I'll actually put a water bottle in there and keep the squeeze on it, just to keep that focus of that inner thigh engagement. You can also do that when you're doing ab work. So take a soft ball or a yoga block, squeeze it in between your thighs, and when you're doing your abdominal work, really squeeze those inner thighs in as you come up and feel that low abdominal engagement. Take everything slow and really feel what is working. I hope that all of these tips, so from strengthening, making the mind-muscle connection, focusing on your posture, and engaging all of your muscles to support your spine, are helpful. And I would love to hear any success stories after you've incorporated these tips. Have the most amazing day. Until next time, this is Tanya.